didn't even make sense at the time. Oh, hey, hi, how are you? Welcome to the Jib. This bi-weekly podcast is about the many and varied schemes of the many and varied U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies, organizations, and committees, and how they are stupid and funny. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Hi, my name is Barry, and I failed my first driving test before I even got into the car.
How?
The guy wouldn't get in. He said, "You must be. I'm not going to get into that car." He said.
Okay. That bad of a car, huh?
The car was fine. I think what happened was some of the lights weren't working properly, and the lights were working fine on Sunday, and my test was on Wednesday, so it's my fault for not doing the check between Sunday and Wednesday, isn't it?
Gotcha. Hi, everybody. I'm Seamus, and you may know me as the guy that messed up earlier this week by not having the script done because I lost the script and forced poor Barry to watch a sex hygiene video with a bunch of nasty penises.
That is true.
There were some lovely cocks before the nasty penises.
There was.
But yeah,
there was very shapely male members.
Yeah, yes, but, very impressive.
Then it went into the less shapely ones, and
yeah, it was really bad.
We got a mix of Jews and Gentiles, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
But we were looking at a video hoping we might be able to watch it and laugh about it. But it got to the...
It was supposed to be funny. It became triggering is what it was.
An army syphilis video, but there were so many sausages flapping in our faces. The two of us kind of at the same time, I think, realized we can't show this to people. It's funny if it happened for a minute, but it was constant cock action.
Yeah, like bratwurst sausage that was
and it wasn't
deformed.
It wasn't even, it was all medical. It wasn't even funny. So we said, no, this is no.
Yep. So I finally finished the script. I had to retype it all. I actually have 18 pages.
Tell them what you did.
So I tried to save it. Or at least I thought I saved it. And
this is, I don't know if this has ever happened to any of you guys, but if you're working on something and you do something to a computer or something happens environmentally and you lose a bunch of pages of stuff that you worked hard on, it is one of the most frustrating things that can ever happen to you. And I remember when it happened to me. It happened to me a few times, and I was extremely angry. And poor old Seamus had to retype all that stuff. So he's been triggered every line he rewrote of this.
Yeah.
We're not here to discuss your PTSD. We're here to discuss, I don't know what the subject is because you didn't tell me. You refused to tell me.
Because I'm like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, 1946.
Okay.
A list of American Nazi Party members obtained by the U.S. Army showed that just 2% lived in the South.
When you say American Nazi Party, do you mean, is that the name of the party, the American Nazi Party?
I think we're just going to like a generalized. You know what I mean? I mean, there definitely is a party, but I mean, I think for this, we're generalizing it.
Okay.
By the mid-'70s, federal courts had embraced civil rights, civics, and business leaders were dismantling legal segregation. Okay. Manufacturing, textile, tobacco jobs were vanishing. Politicians on the cosmopolitan left and corporate right were abandoning blue-collar voters. The KKK membership grew in the 70s, and so did its public support.
Okay, I've seen that movie. It's called Black Klansman.
Gallup report in 79 claimed that 11% of the white Americans viewed the KKK favorably, up from 6% in just 1965.
11%?
Yep.
In southern states?
Yes.
Holy shit. That's
actually just as white population. I'm assuming they were still talking about the South.
So that means if you're white in the South, one of your friends, if you have more than 10 friends, thinks the KKK is fine.
Yep.
That's insane.
American Nazis were expanding their public presence. This generation would begin trading armbands for sports coats and toning down their rhetoric in the media appearances in order to seem more palatable. Other Nazi leaders like William Pierce, West Virginian's own, head of the white supremacy, the National Alliance, started looking for partners and muscles hopping onto the far right. Fanatics from vigilantes to insurrectionists. In 1978, he published the infamous Turner Diaries, a futuristic fantasy blueprint for all-out race war. In the novel, oppressed whites join forces to create an underground organization that bombs New York and murders thousands of black and Jewish folks, among them, terrible things happen in the
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
The protagonist ultimately flies a nuclear warhead into the Pentagon. Turner Diaries was a huge hit with the far right and has influenced a wide spectrum of racist and inspired notorious hate crimes, which we're not going to spend much time on those right now. But September
And
14th.
also apparently Al Qaeda.
Yeah, sure. September 14th, 1953.
Oh, okay.
Harold Armstein Covington.
Jew.
No, this guy's not Jewish. Was born in Burlington, North Carolina, the eldest of three children. His father was a folk singer and grandson of A.B. Glass, the founder of Greensboro Dixie Bedding Company, from
Glass.
which, yep,
He's not Jewish.
no,
Are you sure?
yes, the more you
Okay.
hear, you understand. From the Covington Company, sorry, from this company, Covington received a large inheritance. His brother, Ben Covington, later disavowed him and his views and said several of the claims that he made about his life were made up. So,
So he might be Jewish.
uh, I don't think so. He attended Chapel Hill High School. His racist views were largely born out of his experiences with racial integration in school in the 60s,
Okay.
which he was not a fan.
Oh, that's not
Uh,
lonely.
yeah, bury me evermore. He proudly called himself the school's fascist.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
You don't want to be proud of that in the '60s, do you?
right? Or ever. He described by his teachers as a gifted student, quote, bright, creative boy, but his intelligence should be channeled before he does something destructive to society.
Unlike
So
Elon Musk.
I think they said that about you, didn't they? He briefly
No, yeah, potential.
oh, he briefly wrote for a high school newspaper an activities column, but was kicked off shortly after using to express his complaints, particularly about students who happened to be black.
Oh dear.
In '71, he graduated from high school and joined the U.S. Army. He was discharged from the Army 2 years later for racism.
Yeah, I was thinking in the army you have to work with black guys, don't you?
How racist do you have to be kicked out of the Army, too? I mean, right? They're full of racists. They're fucking full of racists. We know
The
that.
sergeant majors are like, get over here, N-word.
Yeah. After his discharge from the Army, he moved to a little place you might have heard of, Johannesburg.
Oh, in South Africa.
Yep.
Okay.
Did this in December of '73, where he worked on a payroll clerk before moving to Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, also known as Rhodesia.
Rhodesia, of course, yeah.
Yep. Covington was a founding member of the Rhodesian White People's Party
Oh, for fuck's
and
sake.
later claimed to serve in the Rhodesian army as a mercenary. According to his son and official records, though, he just worked as a filing clerk, so, you know.
Hmm.
According to the Rhodesian army, he had never served in the army. He was later deported from Rhodesia early in 1976. You want to guess why, Barry?
For racism.
Boom! Yes.
That's when Mugabe was taken over, isn't it? Around then?
I think we're about
2 years.
Yeah, probably in there. Yeah, definitely not wheelhouse. This came as Covington sent hostile letters to a Balowi Hebrew congregation that caused fear for their safety. Funny how that works.
Where was this? Where's the Hebrew congregation?
It was in Rhodesia.
Oh, in Rhodesia. Okay.
Or Zimbabwe, as it really is, but you know. He joined the Franklin Road chapter of the National Socialist White People's Party.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
About this time, he was posted into the California branch in El Monte.
Oh,
The
okay.
leader, have you?
Yeah. Nice.
The leader,
White
Matthew
people.
Kell, saw Covington as a quality propagandist and moved him to the party's headquarters in Arlington, Virginia,
Okay.
where he began to edit their White Power periodical.
Okay.
Covington grew to despise Kell and became one of the foremost movement's enemies. Numerous of other neo-Nazis also hated Kell, and what set him apart, as in Covington from the rest, was he loathed him and persisted the rest of his life. He accused him of being a homosexual and financial improprieties, and being involved in the murder of some lovely person named George Lincoln Rockwell.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I've said, wait. This from
You know George Lincoln Rockwell, right?
the
Not
John
Nazi.
No, not the John Birch Society.
This is the Nazi guy.
Oh,
He's the one
okay.
that started the National White People's, the Nazi movement. Yeah.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
And he was killed by somebody in this movement, but I don't
Okay.
think it
But that
was.
reminds me of
Covington.
what we said before is that right wing groups are always splintering,
Yep.
and so are left wing groups. Left wing groups are notorious also for splintering. But when left wing groups
Unfortunately.
splinter, it's because of ideology, because
Yeah.
they can't agree on exactly what it is they want from a government. When right wing groups splinter, it's because they're all such assholes they can't stand each other.
Yeah.
They're just fucking assholes.
Yeah. Covington was a contentious figure on the far right and would often take to blame for any negative events that befell him on the movement. Academic Jeffrey Kaplan described him as having always raised more ire than virtually anyone in the vociferous world of the American National Socialism.
Hmm.
The Poverty Law Center also said that he launched endless attacks on most of the leaders of the extreme right to the point that he is today almost totally isolated from the organizations that make up the white supremacy movement.
Well, they would know.
Most of the neo Nazis nicknamed him Weird Harold,
Weird Harold. Okay.
which to me says that some of them listened to Bill Cosby. So after leaving the NSWPP, you know me, he affiliated with George Dietz and then returned to home safe home of North Carolina. And he joined the National Socialist Party of America.
Of course he did.
The party, which in no way is really socialist, but anyways, the party was led by Frank Collin, and Covington rose quickly in the organization's ranks to the leadership of that branch. He launched a losing but surprisingly well-run campaign for Raleigh City Council. Covington was a high profile. Sorry?
He was a professional election run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He was a prolific writer in the form of blogs and books. Over his lifetime, published 11 novels, mostly self-published, but still. Genres he wrote about include the occult, medieval times, gothic, crime, historical fiction. Covington claimed that they were a political and racial message somewhere in all of his books. I don't think you'd have to look far, right?
No.
He is best known for the series of 4 Northwest independent novels that began in 2003. The Northwest series, A Distant Thunder, A Mighty Fortress, The Hill of Ravens, and The Brigade. The series focused on white separatist insurrection and overthrow of a defective American government in the Pacific Northwest. So I know you're going to run out and buy those right now, Barry, and that'll be your weekend read, right?
Option the rights and film it in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
The Hill.
There you
Now,
go.
a major sci-fi network show if you hate black people.
Well, I'm sure Paramount will start filming something like that soon,
Yeah.
since Ellison's in charge. Anyways, within the series, not to be political, within the series, Covington had a self-insert as the old man who advises the main characters. All these motherfuckers do this. They want to be like the Gandalf of the fucking world that they
Yeah.
create. They're all so fucking same.
Mm.
Academic Jeffrey Kaplan praised his writing ability in saying that he was perhaps the most skilled propagandist ever produced by the American neo-Nazis, and said that even the writing of the commander himself, George Lincoln Rockwell, were but candles in the wind before the blast of Covington's
What's a butt candle?
prose. I know, butt candle, yeah. He noted that his collection produced writings voluminous was usual capacity for self-analysts, for neo-Nazis, a kind of L. Ron Hubbard of racist resistance, if you will.
That's not bad. I like that. Another Hubbard of American racism.
So, BP, have you ever heard of communist?
Have I heard of communists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of these folks? Okay.
I have.
The Communist Workers' Party began in 1973 in New York as a Marxist formation originally known as the Workers' Viewpoint Organization.
In the middle of the Vietnam War, funnily enough.
Yep. Yeah, I wonder how that works, right? They originally opposed, they opposed racism and sexism and saw organizing multiracial unions as a strategy for building towards popular socialist uprising against the monopoly of capitalism.
Correct.
In 40, well, that's way off. In 76, members of the CWP, as they would now be known as the Communist Workers' Party, that's what they changed their name to at this time, to North Carolina, or recruited local black and white activists in Greensboro and Durham who engaged in healthcare and textile organizations. Greensboro in the late '70s was a shitty. It was a shitty. Was a city shaped by weak labor. So yeah, it was shitty. Protections, radical
Oh,
racial inequities, the decline of the textile manufacturer, and emerging of militant worker class opposition.
the communists have to make their own unions.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
The CWP members took jobs in the local textile and other manufacturers in an attempt to organize workers into unions. Among them was Dr. James Weller, who left his medical career to become a full time organizer because he had fucking balls.
Yeah.
He became president of the local textile workers
Not
union
just about
at.
having balls, but you have to work hard too.
Yes,
You have
yes,
constant work trying to get
yeah.
people together on the same page, you know?
Thankless very much most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he became head of the Cones graphic finishing plant in Haw River, North Carolina. The CWP found some success with both white and black textiles, but especially among the black workers who had been excluded from jobs for decades and only had recently been hired for a
wait.
mill
You
since.
said with black and white textiles. You mean like different company? There'd be a black textile company and a white textile company with different. Was it
No,
segregated?
no, just that they weren't hired. They're like blacklisted because they're black.
Oh, sorry.
So
Carry on.
yeah, it's all good. They'd only recently been hired to mill since passing federal equity or Equal Employee Opportunities Act
Okay.
'72. So, uh, bury my meter. We need to talk about Eddie Dawson.
Okay. Let's talk about Eddie Dog.
Dawson was born in New Jersey. He was a chain smoking handyman who spoke with a twitchy northern accent.
Okay.
But he drifted down south and managed to get himself a meeting in the Klan and quickly established himself as an enthusiastic recruit.
Okay.
In one career building episode, he took an armed joyride through a poor black neighborhood that he peppered with a rifle.
Oh, I'm not in love with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a drive by shooting. So white
Yeah.
people invented drive-by shootings. How about that?
That's true.
Later Dawson blamed the KKK for letting him be sentenced to 9 months in jail and being convicted of assault and intent to kill.
What did he want them to do about it?
Well, he wanted them to get him out, get him
How
out
did
of
they
it.
get him out?
Yeah, how should I have to take all the blame? I just fucking drove around and shot. I'm the one that shot it. Whatever.
What does a soldier following orders?
Yeah, exactly. So he was really bitter, and he was approached by the FBI in '69,
Here
and
we go.
they offered to pay him $25 every time he told the Bureau about the Klan.
Here we go.
So Klan leaders and
The Bureau was, in fact, interested in shutting down the Klan.
yeah, at that
They
point,
weren't
I
like
guess.
secretly funding them or anything, no.
Yeah. Klan leaders in North Carolina had spent the first half of the year stepping up their recruitment efforts by appealing to heritage of white supremacy. The Federalist Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, for example, staged a historic exhibit of Forest County Library and the early sign of what was to come. A group of Nazis showed up to look over the items and surprise media. So,
Okay.
Nazis and Klan, that's always a good time, right? July
First time
8th,
a lot of those guys had been to the library.
yeah. July 8th, the same North Carolina Klan faction tried to screen D.W. Griffith's classic, The Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Yep. At the China Grove Community Center. For those who don't know about Birth of a Nation, it is a 1915 racist epic. It's still in the top 100 of the AFL for some reason.
Yeah.
That depicts heroic figures in white hoods trying to beat back the scourge of Reconstructionism and save White William from cartoonishly gross displays of black men trying to sexually assault them.
It's blatant. It's not even subtle.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's on the list because it's like for a start, technically,
It's one of the first real films, right?
it's
So.
impressive. And secondly, as a piece of propaganda, it's quite impressive. Like, did you ever see the Leni Riefenstahl movie, The Triumph of the Will?
No, I have not.
I've seen the whole movie, and it is brilliant, right?
I know if you ever hung around G. Gordon Liddy, he would show it to you a lot. So
Oh yeah, it's amazing. If it's as a piece of propaganda, like the angles, the techniques, the everything of it is just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And if you just switch off your mind for a second, the Nazis are the bad guys. It's actually quite cool.
yeah.
It looks great.
In America, we did American Sniper, so So before before they could show the movie, hundreds of protesters, led by the CWP, marched on the building, chanting "Death to the Klan, decrease the rotten beasts, decease the rotten beasts." And I
Say
have
it again. Death of the Clan and
Deceased the Rotten Beast.
Deceased the Rotten Beast.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there
So
they are.
we got a photo there.
Death of the Clan.
Yep.
White people are amazing. And the other sign. See it? I love white people. It says.
The Grand Dragon of the Federate. Sorry,
Black and white unite.
I wouldn't want to upset them. The Federated Knights. Joe Grady stood on the porch outside the building with 20 men with robes and white power T-shirts, rifles drawn, while members of the China Grove police force struggled to create a human barrier between them.
Mm.
Grady's men were eager to fire on the crowd, but a policeman walked up and whispered something to Grady's ear. Basically, Grady reluctantly agreed to move into the bingo hall where the women and children were apparently, crowded and hiding.
Mm.
Once the Klansmen retreated, a cheer rose up amongst the protesters, who then began burning Confederate flags. That's a good time.
Black and white unite.
Yeah. Afterwards, once the crowd was gone and the screening was canceled, Grady reemerged to face the news camera, grabbing a shred of the burned flag, and he vowed, "There will be revenge for this."
For the flag.
Yeah.
Like, get over yourself, you stupid prick.
But while Grady put on a brave face for the remaining television cameras and the eyes of his hooded peers, he had committed a cardinal sin. He allowed himself to look weak.
Mm.
By that point, the Klan's resurgence was already triggering confrontations among the country. In Decatur, Alabama in 1979, more than 100 armed Klansmen blocked a civil rights march. Later in August, rock-throwing protesters pelted Klansmen at the anti-immigrant meeting in Castro Valley, California. None of these episodes, though, led to any sort of lethal retaliation.
Okay. Oh, wonder what that's a bit foreshadowing.
You beat me to it. In early July, shortly after confronting China Grove, Bernard, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Bernard Butkovich, we're going to go with Butkovich, who happened to be an agent of the Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms,
Okay.
approached Harold Covington,
Okay.
our Nazi. Butkovich poses a long-distance truck driver in order to infiltrate the Winston-Salem chapter
Okay.
of the American Nazi Party. Covington connected Butkovich to Roland Wayne Wood, a neo-Nazi in the Winston-Salem. Yeah, I know. Winston-Salem area, right?
Okay.
Later in July, Butkovich joined Wood's neo-Nazi unit in Winston, and later testimonies, another foreshadowing, neo-Nazis, from the unit testified that Butkovich offered to upgrade their arsenal, procure grenades, carry out training in commando tactics, and adapt firearms from semi to automatic.
So what did Judy Barry say?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Judy Barry said that if you want to find out who the narc is, just look at the guy who's suggesting we use violence.
Yeah. And I'm sure none of this is relevant to the real story, right? So, it's not like the FBI or the ATF or members of such would provide firearms and training to bad people.
How would they do such a thing? How would they get funding for it?
Because they don't like communists. But Covington regarded most of the Klansmen he met as boorish. The backlash to China Gov convinced him that they were already in disarray. September 22nd, Covington organized a racist retreat at a borrowed farm outside Lewisburg, about 30 miles northwest of Raleigh. He sent word through the bars, garages, diners, where his people hung out and were all invited.
Where Nazis live, bars and diners and.
So I'm quoting a lot of things here from Politico. That wrote an article about this. This is the description from it. Okay. Kids milled around a barbecue pit where a whole hog roasted, while parents dozed a huge cross in kerosene. Nazis wore uniforms, budgeted at $25 for tailored pants, $10 for boots, and $2 for armbands, which I'm sure it's much more nowadays, right? Yeah. Sound system alternated between bluegrass tunes and the Ride of the Valkyries. A cute blonde in a white power t-shirt sauntered with a Doberman and a rifle for photographs. In a crib, a white baby wore a very small future Klansman shirt.
Oh, lovely.
For extra inspiration, a noose was hung around a tree.
Not lovely.
Later in the afternoon, a caravan of 20 Klansmen pulled into the farm led by a gaunt mechanic with a purging jawline named Virgil Griffin.
Oh, here we go.
That's this guy, the guy in the
Okay.
middle there.
Yeah, he looks like he means business.
Griffin carried the title of Imperial Wizard
Yeah, he
of
did.
a backwoods Klavan known as the Invisible Empire in Mount Holly,
Mm.
close to South Carolina border, where he was also something of a joke on the national stage. His rallies often fell into chaos. One such event, he was shouted off the stage by protesters who began singing the Mickey Mouse Club theme song. So, Covington, show you a picture of him in all his glory.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
He looks like the guy on Dawn of the Dead who's trying to tell everybody to calm down and relax.
uh,
Jesus,
so,
that's a big swastika he has around
yeah,
him.
it is. Well, he needs a large one, you know.
Yee.
If Covington looked in the mirror and saw a worldwide revolutionary, Griffin viewed himself as a backwood patriot.
Mm.
Love is in the air.
Everywhere
Uh,
I go.
After the China Grove debacle, he concluded that the local Klan needed better leadership and more action.
More
He
flags.
believed he believed he could provide both.
Oh, okay.
Covington was only too happy to help feed such ambitions and elaborated, making the Imperial Wizard feel like an honored guest among other extremists,
Okay.
who included Klansmen who peeled off from Grady's, that's the China Grove
Yeah.
douchebag, right? And other neo-Nazi curious crew from the Winston-Salem area. Quote, you take a man who fought in the Second World War, it's hard for him to sit down in a room full of swastikas, a Klansman told the Associated Press. North Carolina Unite Racist Front forms, but people realize this time is running out. We have to get together. So Virgil Griffin, the Imperial KKK wizard douchebag, Covington, the Nazi
This guy.
dickhead, Corell Pierce, who was a Grand Dragon in the Federal Knights KKK, which I believe that was the Covington people. They made the decision to form the United Racist Front. The URF. Ooh.
Yeah.
Butkovich
Of
was present at the formation
of Earth.
of ERF. Yep, ERF.
Okay.
I love it. Perfect. ERF. So CW, the Communist White People, right? Or the Communist Workers Party. Yeah, I'll clear that up. They decide that they're going to do death to the Klan march to be held in Greensboro.
Nice.
They put up posters around the area. On October 11th, they issued a press statement saying the KKK, quote, must be physically beaten back,
Yeah.
eradicated, exterminated, wiped off the face of the earth. This lit a flame under Griffin and the Klan. It also alarmed the police in Greensboro. Now, you remember Dawson, our unhappy Klansman that wanted to be an informant and yada
Yes.
yada? So, October 18th, he met with detectives from the intelligence department of the Greensboro Police Department, if there ever is such a thing, and attended with the CWP and reported back that he had found them to be very hostile,
Hmm.
talking about the communists.
Yeah.
On October 19th, he reported his findings to the Greensboro PD. It was asked if the Klan was planning on attending the November 3rd march. Dawson called Virgil Griffin later that day and was invited to speak at the meeting to be held the next night. October 20th, Griffin marched his invisible empire through the fairgrounds in Lincoln County, about 100 miles southwest of Greensboro. It told a crowd of 150 that if they cared about their children, it's always about the children,
Yeah.
that they would have to, quote, kill 100,
Black people.
sure, let's go with that word, and leave them dead in the street.
Yeah.
At a members only meeting afterwards, he introduced Dawson like he was like like he was Richard Dawson. You know, he's
Yeah.
like a fucking big deal, right?
Mm.
So he introduces him, and Dawson was a featured speaker, and he gave a fiery speech. He declared the Klan to confront the CWP on November 3rd. Dawson started out by warning that the communists were recruiting busloads of black college students that would flood into Greensboro. They always
Yeah.
bring up this busloads of people, right?
There's a bus. Yeah, there's always a
Yep.
bus involved.
Yep. Asked whether it would be a good idea to bring guns, he said, "quote I'm not your father, but if you're carrying a gun, you better have damn bond money."
That's like something Trump would say.
Yeah. The vote among those in the audience was unanimous. They go to Greensboro and make their presence felt.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
following weekend, as word spread, white supremacist groups met in at least 3 different locations around North Carolina and agreed to head there too. Dawson earned $50 by telling the Greensboro PD about the October 20th meeting. He also let them know that Griffin was planning to come to town looking for allies, but Dawson neglected to mention his starring role,
Uh,
the fact that he would be driving around Morningside homes in his Cadillac late at night, plastering leaflets all over "Death to the Klan" posters and replacing them with a dark hanging figure
oof.
with a noose around his neck,
Jesus.
with the phrase "It's time for some old-fashioned American justice."
Fuck my ass. This is like late 70s.
Yep, this 1979.
That's too late for that shit.
Yeah.
That's some 1890s shit right there.
Yep. October 21, Dawson reported back to the Greensboro.
Someone's
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
killed.
He reported to Detective Jerry Rooster Copper. Rooster Cooper. Rooster
Is that
Cooper.
a John Wayne character or a real
Yeah,
person?
Rooster Cogberg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He reported that 250 Klan were to come to Greensboro. Dawson earned another $50.
Okay.
He told them about the October 20th meeting later that day, and he spoke to the FBI. October 23rd, according to the Greensboro FBI agent Andrew Pelskar, the FBI opened an investigation into the CWP on that day.
It's the CWP.
Yep. We got to worry about the communists.
They're not the ones that are going to cause the trouble in the.
Oh, Barry, come on.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Investigate.
All right. So, anyways, FBI, though.
You're really setting this up to be a vicious confrontation where
Yep.
people are going to die, Seamus.
You think?
The
You
way
sure?
you're talking about it?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
FBI supervisors later.
Never heard of this.
Later, you haven't heard about this?
No, nothing.
Okay. Later determined that such an investigation took place. So they're saying this didn't happen.
Right, but
we know it happened.
Yeah.
IRF held a meeting in Winston-Salem on the same day. October 28th, another Klan meeting was held in Lincoln County. Dawson and Griffin urged Klansmen to attack the CWP at the November 3rd march.
Physically.
Dawson, yep.
Okay.
Dawson designed hung flyers with lynching imagery to cover. Well, this is when he actually did this is when he designed it, and he handed some out there to the Death of the Klan thing, right?
Delightful.
Yep. Halloween. Dawson reported to Lieutenant Spoon of the Greensboro PD.
Where are these guys getting their names?
Right.
Rooster and Spoon?
Right.
It's like a 90s rap duo.
No, it's more like this fall on CBS, Rooster and Spoon.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
One's a
dun.
rooster, one's a spoon. They solve crimes. Dun, 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 dun. They have a van wandering around. Hey, dude, you guys see the new Rooster and Spoon? It shouldn't work, but it does, man. It's amazing.
I got
is Rooster.
I got to tell you, Spoon. I'm just so glad to be out of the hen house for a while, man. These streets just get me down, man.
I'm just happy to be out of my cup of coffee, man. I'm cool. Let's go. Let's solve some crimes, dude. Let's solve those goddamn crimes.
You still got some cream on yourself there, man. You better wipe it off.
I'm
Missus
gonna
will
leave
see
that
it.
shit right where it is.
Shit. Yeah. So he did the whatchamacallit. Oh, that he. Yeah. Okay. So he's talking to Spoon,
Right.
and he obtains a copy of the CW parade permit.
Okay.
Okay. The permit includes information about the meeting point, so where the parade's going to begin.
Okay.
This was not shared publicly,
Oh.
so
Oh.
he now knows where it's at.
Oh.
Okay, and
He
the
was paid for
cops
the privilege,
know that he knows
Yes.
where it's at.
and they paid him for that information.
Yes. So,
Lovely.
well, no, actually, he got that from them. He
No,
got
I
the
mean,
copy of the permit from them.
but during that meeting, he probably told them something that
Oh,
he was paid
sure.
for. Yeah,
So then he gives the IRF advance notice of this so that they could,
of course he
come up
does.
with an ambush.
Yeah, thanks.
Afterwards, Dawson attended a press conference held by the CWP outside Greensboro Police Department, speaking to Nelson Johnson and Paul Berzmanozoff. I'm not going to be able to get your name right. I'm sorry. And introduced himself as a small businessman. He actually posed as like a news correspondent for some sort of hardware thing, and he actually
Okay,
asked some questions. There's video of this too. I'm not going to show you, but I'll tell you where you can get it later if people want to see. November 1st, the Nazi camp, Covington, staged for the media in the garage of a sheet metal worker named Ronald Wayne Wood. So
okay.
now we got Wood to the mix.
Hey,
A dozen of the recruits mugged through a made-for-TV roast of disgraced China Grove wizard Joe Grady.
okay.
Once the cameras departed, the United Racists grew around the business. Sorry. Oh, they began to start talking about how to attack the communists, what their plan
Sure,
was,
they're
right?
planning their ambush.
Yep. Bukovich and Dawson were both at this
Look at
meeting.
it.
So, November 2nd, we're getting closer. Virgil Griffith
I don't know
addresses.
what I'm getting closer to. I keep talking to me like that.
We're getting closer to the parade.
Getting closer to Christmas.
This is Parade Eve, Death of
Okay.
the Clan Eve. Virgil Griffin, addressed the IRF in Lincoln County, calling for show of force on November 3rd.
Of course he
Later
did.
that night, Dawson, Griffin, and other Klansmen scouted out the parade route before returning to Brent Fletcher's house.
Okay.
So now we're on the day,
Okay.
November 3rd,
So everything will go
1979.
smooth by the numbers, Seamus.
Oh, yeah. So before 11 a.m., Klansmen convened at the house of Brett Fletcher. 10 a.m., Dodson briefly returned home to speak with Cooper, a.k.a. Rooster, on the phone, informing him that the Klan was armed and that they were tended on violence. He then rejoined the Klan and gathered at Fletcher's home. A little later, Dawson called again to warn that the place was choke full of arms.
So of course the police snapped to the communist defense.
But that information never made its way to the shift commander, or it may have been ignored. There's conflicting. I'll leave it at that. I'm not sure what. Instead, he wrapped up the daily briefing at about 10:30 that morning by reminding his men that the parade permit listed the start time at noon, and officers were then could take breakfast as long as they wanted, just as long as they're at the route by 11:30.
Okay.
10:25 a.m. Dawson gave the order to move out.
That sounds like a conspiracy.
Rode out in the lead car of the caravan of 10 cars, approximately 40 people. At 11:06 a.m., the Klan caravan waited at the interstate rendezvous with neo-Nazi Jack Fowler. 11:13, and I want to add real quick, Rooster, the cop,
Yeah.
is following Dawson now.
Oh, okay, because he suspects.
And he's taking pictures. He has documenting this, but he's not reporting it to anybody right away.
Okay.
But we do know he's following him.
Okay.
Fuller,
With that guy.
11:13. Fuller arrived with weapons. I mean, he hasn't. He's not letting him. He's not updating him as it's going. I mean, obviously, we already know what was said or may have said to the chief commander, but Eddie Fuller arrives at 11:13 with more weapons and automatic rifles in his trunk. He's going to be driving. It's a Ford. I think it's a Ford Fairlane blue. But they're most of the weapons are in his trunk. Dawson directed him to follow at the rear of the caravan as the Klansmen and Nazis made their way on Interstate 85 into Greensboro. Greensboro police detectives spotted the caravan. So actually, this would be Rooster. Called in to ask if tactical units were in place. His supervisors, showing no special concern, replied that there are still another 14 minutes for their breakfast.
Yeah, loads of time.
Yeah.
No worries.
Now, the CWP, they planned to line up at the the rendezvous point, right? The starting point, which nobody else was supposed to know about, right?
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock a.m. Then they begin marching at noon. But at 11:22, before protesters could react, cars with Confederate flag license plates began approaching. There were no cops in sight. Dawson, who was leading the convoy, screamed out the window, "You asked for the Klan, now you got him." So I'm going to describe a few things, and then we'll see what we think about this video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Griffin's white LTD screeched and swerved, nearly hitting a marcher. The caravan then stopped. The protesters went from singing to swinging, banging their placards onto the car. Members of the convoy poured out, punching through the melee, and grabbed weapons. Dawson then told his driver to get the hell out of there, and they sped off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Quite common, isn't it, amongst those people?
Okay, so now I'm going to show you the video, and
We'll see what
you
we
let
think.
me know. Yeah, because media was there. Media was recording this when this
They
happened.
were waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right.
We shall not be moved like the trees. Standing by the water. We shall not. Come on. Saturate this land. Death to the Klan! 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 Death to the
Moments later, about
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can we help you? Okay, goddammit, you see what they do? I see, yes. Can we help you? Can we help you? Get a doctor. I've already called. Where's the telephone, man? We've called. We've called. Where the heck are the cops?
Where the fuck are hiding? Because they prepared for this. That's why the cops are hiding. Do you hear me? The cops are hiding because they prepared for this.
Hey, man, you ain't got to go to
Why do you
jail.
think?
Hey, man.
Okay, we cut a bit out of that video. We cut a bit out where people were actively getting shot. So we decided that we didn't need to see that on our show. But it's grim viewing even without that. These Klan guys just started opening fire on people, and it seemed clear, as you can tell from the lady who was upset at the end of that video, that even they at the time realized the police seemed to have something to do with it.
So now I'm going to kind of go messily through the mechanics of what some of you saw. CPW had brought a few weapons with them as self-defense, but they didn't, they weren't actively had them on hand, unfortunately.
I didn't see any of them.
So, yeah. Like I said, Dawson got the hell out of there.
That was not a firefight. That was an execution.
Yeah. Jim Weller, the doctor, lunged for a 12-gauge shotgun that he had stashed in his car. But a Klansman flew forward towards him before he can fire it. The two rolled in the grass, fighting nose to nose over the weapon until others had started piling on them and pulling the mechanism, and it snapped. So the pump, right, on the gun snapped, and Waller screamed as the pump action crushed the bones in his shooting hand. Around this time, Jack Fuller, the Nazi with the guns, opened the truck of his blue Ford Fairlane, and with a cigarette dangling from his mouth because he had no fucks to give, handed out his rifles and shotguns.
We saw that on tape.
Yep. Now, Dave Matthews, who would go on to commit crimes almost as bad as American Baby, from Griffin's Klan, stood behind the door of the van and shot Mike Nathan and then Jim Rearn who was crawling on his belly. Bill Sampson, a former Harvard divinity student, tried to give Wren rifle cover, but took 2 fatal shots in the heart.
Oh,
Roland Wayne Wood then shot Waller, the doctor, with a blast from his shotgun into the physician's right side. Matthews finished off the job with another blast into Waller's back. So Waller's dead.
yeah.
The convoy spread away with Dave Matthews in the van, last leaving the scene. He would tell the others, "I got 3 of them," because he's so proud. Moments later, police, and I mean like minutes later, actually, I believe the best they can muster as far as the fastest time of response was 2 minutes. And they were not that far away, Barry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I should have been on site through it.
yep. So they, but they did intercept that van. They did stop that van. But they didn't get to morning until the shooting was over. 88 seconds of gunfire in Greensboro, marked by the most violence in South since the 1960s.
I saw them.
88 minutes in Greensboro.
No.
So it's also the name of the documentary that you could find
Okay.
on YouTube. It has a lot of this.
Black guy though on tape.
What's that?
I saw the cops grabbing a black guy on the tape.
Yeah, they started arresting the communists
Oh, did they? Okay.
because that's what they do.
What is happening there?
It's a band I'm sure you're a fan of. Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a song about this.
Okay.
So I figured it'd be your jam because I know you like that kind of that jam. Anyways, five
Appreciate
folks
your
were
lack of
killed.
judgment.
What's that?
I appreciate your lack of judgment.
Okay.
Oh, because people usually say when they say things like, "Oh, that's the kind of music you're into," they mean like it's shit.
No, I mean you liked it.
Because I'm into all sorts of weird
Well,
stuff.
I like some of that stuff too. I mean, some of it I do,
Okay.
some I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
So, 5 folks are dead.
5 people dead. Okay.
James Wheeler, a physician, union organist. Sandy Smith, nurse, civil rights activist.
Yeah.
Caesar Shaws, Duke University administrator, immigrants' right advocates. Bill Sampson, Harvard-trained biologist and labor organizer. Michael Nathan, pediatrician, who was shot while treating wounded protesters.
Yeah.
So overall, 9 protesters, 2 members of the media, and 1 piece of shit Klans member was wounded.
Yeah.
The massacre immediately raised questions about why the Greensboro police had not been present
Yes.
to prevent the violence.
Yeah.
And the 1981 report of the Durham-based Institute for Southern Studies demanded a federal investigation of the city, even if as it voiced skepticism of the U.S. Justice Department by calling it a fickle friend of political unpopular radicals.
Yeah.
The Intelligence Division had specific credible warning of possible armed confrontation. Police action created the conditions that allowed confrontation to escalate to violence.
That's one way of putting it.
Yep. Police rounded up 14 Klansmen and Nazis. The state of North Carolina charged them with first-degree murder and felony riot.
Okay.
Prosecutors lined up eyewitness videotapes, weapons, FBI ballistic analysis, but they couldn't convince surviving members of the CWP to cooperate. For some reason, they just didn't feel like it. Wonder why. Nelson Johnson, a CWP leader and survivor, they wanted to kill us, and the police let them. We believe the police had our backs. Instead, their backs were turned.
Yeah.
We were targeted because we were organizing workers across racial lines. The police knew the Klan was coming, and they let it happen. Another survivor stated, "It was not a clash of 2 sides, it was an assassination."
Yep.
While Griffin said that the shootings was not planned, and the police informant had advised the police that the group intended to have violent confrontation. Despite this, the police were not in place before the march. Klansmen claimed that the fight broke out between the groups because communists try to pull a 79-year-old Klansman out of the car. He's just an old man, Barry.
It's on tape.
Yeah. Quote, we had just planned to fly our American flag across the street to show them we loved our country. This is Griffin speaking.
Don't need 20 rifles to do that, do you?
No, yeah. Someone fired a shot and all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
We had every right to drive them down the street with nobody touching the cars. I didn't come to shoot nobody. He's just a good old American boy, Barry.
Yeah.
At trial, the Klansmen and Nazis wrapped themselves in the American flag and argued self-defense. Quote, they acted like men to aid someone in distress. They would have not been worthy of anyone's respect if they hadn't done otherwise. That was their lawyer speaking.
Yeah.
One of the guys, and he added, as he began to sing, my country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, from every mountainside let freedom ring. On November 17th, 1980, I know this is hard to believe, but an all-white jury
Yeah.
found the Klansmen and Nazis not guilty.
No, they didn't.
Jerry Pridemore,
That's
one of the
bullshit.
one of the dipshits who was on trial. Anytime you defeat communism, it's a victory for America.
Oh, that can't be true, Seamus.
It's true. The
Not
U.S. Justice Department then charged 9 Klansmen and a Nazi, this time including Griffin and Dawson, with conspiracy to violate the civil rights of the Greensboro victims. Although it says Dawson, I think that's wrong. I must have wrote that wrong because he wasn't. I don't believe he was charged.
It's a funny term for murder, isn't it? A violation of your civil rights.
Yeah. Well, no, he was charged. It was a conspiracy that they charged him with. That's right.
Oh, okay.
So I'll explain more about that as we go. In April '84, the federal jury, which you would not believe was all right, refused to conclude the defendants had violated the law by acting out of racial rather than political hatred.
Okay.
So, not guilty again. So, finally, the victims filed a $48 million lawsuit. 87 defendants, including City of Greensboro, the State of North Carolina, the Justice Department, the FBI, Wood, now on trial for the third time, felt confident enough to give a Nazi salute when he sworn in to testify.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. Not everybody can Elon. In June '85, the civil jury found 8 defendants liable for wrongful deaths. Dawson, 5 Klansmen, and Nazi shooters. The Greensboro Police Department, who received advance warning of the attack from Dawson, and the lieutenant, who was the GPD event commander at the massacre.
Yeah.
But the jury applied that decision only to the case of Michael Nathan, who was a murder victim who wasn't an active member of the CWP. So he just was a random protester, but not a card-carrying communist?
Yeah. They're afraid of communists.
What's that?
They're afraid of condoning communism, is it?
Yep. To avoid appeals, the city of Greensboro settled for $351,000, sending a check to Nathan's widow, who had to split it with the remaining survivors. So that's it. That's all the restitution that they got. The supremacists who emerged from the Greensboro trials understood that they were free to work together to stockpile weapons, terrorize neighborhoods, and commit violence up and including to murder, as long as it was communist that they killed. What's that?
Isn't that delightful?
Yep. By 1980, membership of the Klan Nazi Fusion group began to outnumber the old school clans. And as the horizon of hate broadened and merged, alliances deepened around the country. As just one example, 4 months after Greensboro, the California Knights of the KKK rallied at the city of Oceanside and beat counter-protesters with baseball bats.
Oh.
Marchers played a version of 16 Tons.
Yeah.
You know the coal mining song?
Yeah, I know the coal mining song.
Yep. They rewrote the lyrics, celebrating the Greensboro killing, and with ending it, quote, "If the Nazis don't get you, a Klansman will," which maybe might be the most, heinous crime of everything we've discussed about in this, right?
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's just fucking terrible. I mean, Dave Matthews wouldn't even do that.
He might.
Yeah, it's true. The increasingly unity of the far right factions was more than tactical. By transfusing blood and soil into American racism, it led to what historian John Drabble called in a 2007 study the Nazification of the KKK. This was bad news for hustlers like Eddie Dawson, the one-time Stitch, well, many-time Stitch, you might as well say.
They didn't have far to go, did they?
Yeah, he had to dodge Klan retribution from information, but he found it much harder to profit from playing different extremists against another. He eventually just, you know, kind of peeled it out and became a handyman. A few people paid him. I think the guy that they held, I think it was Wood, let him kind of hang out in his place. He was the only guy that let him stick around. So, yeah. Yeah.
Metal worker, remember that?
Yep. Fraser Glenn Miller, a Covington acolyte and former Green Beret who rode in the Greensboro caravan, so he's one of the fuckers that was, an OG, right?
Yeah.
Founded the Carolina Knights of the KKK
No, lovely.
in 80. By merging the Klan in Nazi symbology while installing paramilitary discipline in his followers, he quickly built the strongest white power group in the state. As it emboldened the white power movement to spread, Miller connected its dots. There's a lot of Millers and Nazis. I wonder if they'll come back. The Greensboro veteran held marches harassed local black residents and amassed a huge cache of explosives. In 87, he issued a revolution, quote, declaration of war, filled with calls for assassination. He coordinated with the Order, which is a violent extreme group inspired by the Turner Diaries and have some other connections to white power hero William Pierce. May sometime cover them, I'm not sure yet. He sought allies through voluminous racist literature and eventually on the internet, where he extolled the mass shootings of Andres. I'm not even going to say this fucker's name. The Norwegian shooter, the mass murderer over there. You know what I'm talking about, Barry, right?
Perfect is his name.
Yeah, well, okay, I guess we're gonna say his name. Anyways, Miller returned to racist murder in 2014. Sorry. That's okay. When he targeted a Jewish community center in Overland Park, Kansas, he killed 3 people. The landlord, this got him to death row where he sits today. So that fucker's at least taken out. Greensboro Aftershock held for most important lessons for the mainstream opportunists. By the end of the 70s, Southern nationalists had spent more than a decade trying to recode their racism to make it more palatable. As master political consultant Lee Atwater, you know Lee Atwater, don't you?
I do.
Huh? Yep.
I do, yeah.
Quote, you start out in the 1954 by saying N-word, N-word, N-word. By late 1968, you can't say N-word. That hurts you. Backfires. So say stuff like forced busing, states' rights.
Yeah.
Huh, it's funny.
States'
rights. It's like a dog whistle. Republican politicians soon realized that they could go even further. After Greensboro, it became clear that a historian, Kathleen Belew, had written that extremists, quote, increasingly used anti-communists as a alibi for racial violence. And by targeting the far right's dual paranoias, federal authorities in socialism, the GOP operatives were able to harass its nativism while hanging onto votes for established conservatives. It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
A decade after Greensboro establishment, candidates were already posing in front of rebel flags and openly courting white heritage groups like the United Daughters of the Confederacy. What the actual fuck? The GOP advocates, most of its counties where the Klan had been active in the 60s, according to a 2014 study by political scientists from Notre Dame, Brownus, and Yale. During the administration of Obama, the new generation of conservative politicians had extremist backs. In 2009, Department of Homeland Security issued a report forecasting the rise of racial violence. Republicans objected ferociously to the DHS rescinding the projection and silence its domestic terrorist unit. Mike Pompeo, then congressman from Kansas said it was a dangerous to track homegrown violence. So that was kind of the start of them just kind of like not giving a fuck about, any sort of domestic terrorism, at least when it
Biggest
comes
problem
to
they have.
white. Yep. By that point, it had been hard to tell who was co-opting and whom was on the right. Republicans were playing to the fringe without worrying where their incitable elements might channel their anger. November 2004, nearly 700 people, including several survivors, marched in the Greensboro along the original planned route for the housing project to Greensboro Hall to mark the 25th anniversary of the event. That year, a group of private citizens founded the Greensboro Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was patterned after the official Truth and Reconciliation Commission, generally organized by the national governments, such notably conducted in post-apartheid South Africa. Organizers appealed to the mayor and the city council for endorsement, but failed to gain support. The Greensboro City Council, led by Mayor Keith Holliday, voted 6-3 against endorsing the group. 6 that voted for were... What do you think, Barry?
White.
You got it. And the 3 that were not happened to be black. Nonetheless, the group decided to go on. Quote, the commission was
What the fuck are these uppity fucking African Americans doing on the council?
How dare they? How dare they want,
Fuck, 3 of them. Jesus, 1 is bad enough. 3 is careless.
Oh, how dare they? The commission was ultimately...
Greensboro's fallen, man. They fucked it.
The commission was ultimately successful in securing the cooperation of survivors by conducting one-on-one interviews. This resulted in a collection of 145 oral statements. The commission also granted requests from dozens of individuals who wished to remain anonymous. This includes statements in the final report, including oral statements were testimonies of 17 demonstrators, 14 people from then Morningside. That's where it started. That's where they're located. Along 7 written accounts. Greensboro Truth and Reconciliation Commission was also successful in getting statements from 6 current or former members of the police department, 5 current or former members of the KKK and the Nazi Party, and a judge. 3 public hearings were held, 2 at a local university, 1 at a high school, each of which were transferred over a 2-day period, Friday and Saturday, so nice weekend. For the commissioner's safety, each public hearing featured a significant police presence.
Even in 2004?
Yeah, I'm glad they learned from that, right?
Yeah, but 2004, you'd think they'd be safe enough, wouldn't you?
You never know. Virgil Griffin surprised everyone at the Greensboro Commission by showing up and taking questions. Yeah, we'll get to him. Asked why no Klansman was killed in the shooting. Quote, maybe God guided the bullets.
Bye.
Yeah. May 2006, after 2 years of committee, of the testimonies and yada yada, the 7 commissioners reported their findings and conclusions. It was noted both that the CWP and the Klan contributed in various degrees to the violence, especially given the violent rhetoric which they had been espousing for months leading up to the confrontation in March. The report said that the CWP did not intend to use handguns for anything other than self-defense. It said that the protesters had not successfully secured the community's support at Morningside, which they didn't get support from a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
The commission concluded that the KKK and the Nazis went to the rally with the intention to provoke a violent confrontation, and that they had fired on the demonstrators with the intent to injure. The final report commission noted that the importance of the police department's absence from the scene and the presence of the police previous confrontations between the same groups had resulted in nonviolence. There had been testimony from the commission that the Greensboro Police Department had infiltrated the Klan through paid informants, which we have already discussed about Mr. Dawson. The informant had been formerly been an informant for the FBI, been on the payroll, and maintained contact with agent supervisors. Consequently, the FBI also was aware of the impending armed confrontation, and although they repeatedly denied any prior knowledge. So they both Yeah. The commission reflected on the disproportionate antagonism evidence by the police towards the communists and activists compared to that of the attitude to the Klan and the Nazis, because the Klan and the cops go hand in hand, as somebody once said.
Yeah.
Quote, the fear of vocal black activists who advocated armed self-defense but who had no criminal record other than disorderly conduct stands in stark contrast to the dismissal of the threat posed by the Klan and Nazis, who openly advocated and had criminal records of committing racist violence, the report said. So, that's the end of the report. As for our two main dipshits of the episode, Virgil Griffin, the Klanman, he had most recently identified as the Imperial Wizard of Mount Holly, which Cleveland Knights of the KKK. For almost 3 decades, the Klan had lost most prominence and viscerous by opposition, but its opposition to illegal immigration had helped draw new life into it. Griffin said, quote, as far as efforts to get rid of immigration, quote, shoot one, let them know we are sealing our borders. Griffin said in an interview with Charlottesville paper, he and the other Klan officials were in the midst of rebuilding, exploiting fears over illegal immigration. Quote, people are tired of this mess. Illegal immigrants are taking over this country. They're taking our jobs, Barry.
Taking over our country.
By the 1990s, Griffin had suffered 2 heart attacks, bypass surgery, and a ruptured disc in his neck. Griffin died February 11th, 2009, at the age of 64 in Gaston Memorial Hospital from an illness for some time. No cause of death was listed. So, pour one out for that piece of shit, right?
He died of racism.
Yep. Rest in peace. Now, Covington, our Nazi hero, right?
Yeah.
Despite being a key organizer of the demonstration that led to the massacre, Covington was not actually present at the event, and the FBI failed to charge him outside of that conspiracy charge that didn't go anywhere, right? There was widespread belief among the neo-Nazi movement, though, that Covington escaped consequences for his involvement in the Greensboro because he was an informant. He denied it. Afterwards, members of the Nazi Party said what probably was an effort to distract from Greensboro plotted a bomb a shopping center. This was probably planned without Covington's knowledge, and he was horrified learning about fearing white people would be harmed. The plot was thwarted due to a high rate of infiltration by informants, which further led to rumors of Covington being an informant. At the same time, it was revealed that the leader of the National Party, Frank Collins, was half Jewish.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Several neo-Nazis, including Covington, then searched Collins' home, whereupon they found a collection of child pornography.
Oh, no.
Yep. Covington and several other neo-Nazis engineered a coup and turned Collin over to the police, where he was sentenced to several years in prison. Covington became a leader of the national member of the Nazi Party. He became emboldened leadership and was forced to resign in 1981 because he is that much of a dickhead, right? He faced criticism in 1982 as he fled the country to Ireland. He was hanging with your folks.
Yeah.
And then he went to the UK because Irish people don't like Nazis that well. He married an Irish woman, though, and had dual citizenship. In 1994, he started an organization called the National Socialist White People's Party. He launched a website in 1996 using the pseudonym Winston Smith, taken from 1984. These motherfuckers never read these goddamn books, right? It's like all these fuckers that have this affinity with Lord of the Rings. They don't understand that they are the bad guys. They are from Mordor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just fucking history is a flat circle. Covington became one of the first neo-Nazis present on the internet. Covington used the website and the Winston Smith's pseudonym to dismantle Holocaust denial material or disseminate, right? So big, he don't believe that happened. Online, Covington and his followers had what was described as an online feud with neo-Nazi leader William Pierce, Turner Diaries. And his followers over the future of white internet. Covington complained that the net is being viciously and tragically abused by a shocking large number of either bogus or deranged white racists. I think it is too early just yet to qualify how the lunacy interacts with and counteracts and affects the impact of serious political work. Brother, you have no idea. Beginning in 2005, Covington maintained a political blog titled Thought Crime. He left the UK and he moved to Olympia, Washington, which is, very, very white. He advocated the creation of the White Homeland in the Pacific Northwest, known as the Northwest Territorial Imperative. What? Okay. He founded the Northwest Front, a movement devoted to creating white ethno-state. Covington was mentioned in media connections with the Charleston shooting, church shooting, and was said that the shooter and the Northwest Front, as in what he wrote, was his manifesto, and was critical of its meaning and objectives. According to Covington, the shooting was a preview of coming attractions.
Well, it's just as well he didn't call it the Northwest Association, because then he'd be NWA.
But he also believed it was a bad idea for his followers to engage in random acts of violence. Instead, support organized revolution. Covington died in Bremerton, Washington on July 14th, 2018.
Oh,
On May 2015, the city of Greensboro officially unveiled a historical marker acknowledging the 1979 event. At the ceremony, attended by 300 people, it reads which the placard reads, Greensboro Massacre. Ku Klux Klan's men and American Nazi Party members on November 3rd, 1979, shot and killed 5 Communist Worker Party members, 1/10 mile north. The city council had voted to approve the proposed statewide highway marker. 2 city council members voted against the historical marker, explaining that they did not consider the event a massacre. October 6, 2020, the city council approved a resolution organizing for the event. Resolution apologizing for the event. We're sorry. We're okay now. We're good, right?
yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So that's it.
All right.
That's the Greensboro Massacre.
Well, 2 things.
Yep.
On the second half of that. Saoirse. 2 things. One is what we're discovering in Ireland is that if you don't step on far-right movements, early, they will be emboldened by the lack of action to do stupider shit. And that's exactly what happened to Greensboro, if what you say is true there.
Yep.
And secondly, a lot of these far-right leaders, when you go poking around their hard drives, seem to be involved in either pedophilia or domestic abuse or drug dealing or some other sort of criminal activity. And it's really weird how many of them in Ireland are coming out to be one of those 4.
Yep. Same thing over here.
Oh, yeah, it's weird, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Nina Turner's machine is safe to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's good.
That's it. That's the 2 things that struck me.
Cool. Yep. But that's all we got.
Well,
That's all I got.
Then we got to worry about what's happening this week, I guess.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to What's New, the section of our show where we both, before the show, put FBI and CIA into Google, hit the news tab, and see what interesting and funny stuff is happening this week. We don't know what each other is going to say, so we're looking at it for the first time too, just like you guys. Seamus, what have you got for FBI?
Journalist reveals FBI is ordering a bounty for reporting anti-Trump thought.
Okay, that's a hell of a headline.
Yeah, a leaked memo by the U.S. Attorney General Bondi discusses with the FBI compiled a list of groups that are labeled domestic terrorists. Oh, so this is what we talked about before, the Ken Clemson thing, but now that there's actually now you can get some cash for going after folks.
Hey.
So if you Google, just go to Ken Clemson and you can find us, or Google the NSP M-7 and you'll read about all that happy stuff. Family man of killed sorry, wow, I can't read anymore. I give up. Family of man killed by off-duty FBI agent sues for $15 million lawsuit. So
He's never
3
going to
years
get
ago,
$1,000.
probably not. 3 years after his death during an altercation with an off-duty FBI agent in the Metro's Center Station, Troy Bullock's family continue to seek justice now. $15 million, according to charges. They say he violated his civil rights. So,
That's another nice word for murder. Yeah.
yep. 12 agents fired for kneeling during the racial injustice or protest sued to get their jobs back from the FBI. Now we have infighting. MAGA Bros. This is on Daily Beast. MAGA Bros revolt over Pod Bro Patel FBI takeover. So Tucker Carlson is basically says, "quote I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men running it, and I am not saying this out of ignorance at all. This dumb Twitter shit, leader of the FBI and Twitter, like what? They're all upset because of how they handled the Charlie Kirk thing.
Oh yeah.
So you fucked one of our homies, so now we're mad. We're not happy. We're sad. So they also saw I can't remember if we covered this last time about him. Whatever he went to the shooting, the last shooting, that he refused to get off the plane. Cash Patel, that is, until they brought him a tactical jacket that had FBI
Remember
on it.
that?
Yeah, he didn't have one, so they had to bring him one, and they brought him a woman's one.
Oh, okay.
And on Twitter, I can't remember which senator pointed this out, and Cash Patel retweets that, but it says, "No, I asked for a youth size." What? So I have one other thing I want to show.
That's our primary concern right now.
All right, that's what President Trump did. What does the FBI say?
We share the same view. When you look at the data right now, you look at the domestic terrorist threat that we're facing. Right now, what I see from my position is that's the most immediate violent threat that we're facing on the domestic side.
So where is the Antifa headquarters?
What we're doing right now with the organization,
Where in the United States does Antifa exist?
Yeah.
If it's a terrorist organization and you've identified it as number one.
we are building out the infrastructure right now.
So what does that mean? We trying to get the information. You say Antifa is a terrorist organization. Tell us as a committee, how did you come to that? Where do they exist? How many members do they have in the United States as of right now?
Well, that's very fluid. It's ongoing for us to understand that. The same, no different than Al Qaeda and ISIS.
No, I don't want you. I'll ask one question, sir. I just want you to tell us. If you said Antifa is the number one domestic terrorist organization operating in the United States, I just need to know where they are, how many people. I don't want a name. I don't want anything like that. Just how many people have you identified with the FBI that Antifa is made of?
Well, the investigations are active.
Sir, you wouldn't come to this committee and say something you can't prove. I know. I know you wouldn't do that. But you did.
On Counterpunch, and I guess disclaimer, Counterpunch have published my article before. I have worked with them before, but on Counterpunch, it says when Marxist intellectuals collaborated with the CIA, and they're talking about people working with various CIA agencies, including Theo Adorno, which is interesting. Another one is on IranInternational.com. It says Iranian spy who worked for the CIA allegedly killed by his father. There's an Iranian who was feeding information to the CIA. He was a computer guy. Apparently his dad killed him, so fair enough.
Oh.
Another one on MSN is just very simply how Trump's Venezuela threats echo CIA-backed regime change in Latin America. So that could be the subtitle to half of our podcasts.
Yeah.
And the last one is Turkey, United States. CIA and Turkey's MIT planning secret air base to monitor the Middle East. And guess where they're building it?
Where?
In northern Cyprus.
Oh.
So we did a whole episode about northern Cyprus and why they might be building a base there. and it's called Operation Attila. If you want to check it out,
Awesome.
those are my links.
Alrighty, folks, that's all we got for you. In 2 weeks, we'll
We will
be
see.
doing CIA
I'm working on
jab
the Israel thing at
something.
the moment, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, I think you're gonna be. If we start that, it'll be like 12 volumes.
Yeah, well, we've only done one volume of it, so we're going
Yeah,
to see if we
sorta,
can do
yeah.
volume 2.
So,
All right.
all right, folks.
Guys.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.